This is our second annual sports banquet, and this is so much more delightful than our first, but I guess you have to start someplace, and we did. And because we started someplace, we were able to build on it, and because you are here tonight, you are helping not only this fire hall, but also the Yolando Barco Cancer Institute of Meadville. And we appreciate your involvement. Give yourselves a hand. Thank you. We have a James Conner signed game shirt, number 30, and he's had several numbers. He had 30 at Erie McDowell. He was number 40 as a freshman at Pitt, and then number 24, and now he's back to being number 30, and he's happy about it. And we'll hear from James via video a little bit later, and we'll explain that whole situation, but it's all good. We have a bid that's significant on his game shirt. If you want to try to trump it, Charlie Anderson will tell you what you need to do to trump it, and like I say, it's significant, and we appreciate that, and we appreciate the person who made that bid. Now, as nice as it is today, I was out on the boat for a while, enjoyed the great Conneaut Lake weather, but picture Dublin, Ireland, on a bitter, rainy, chilly, cold, piercing night, and a fellow approaches a pub, and he sees this wretched figure huddled over a puddle. He's got a stick with a string attached to it, and the string is leading into the water of the puddle. "Excuse me, my man, what do you seem to be up to?" He said, "I'm fishing." He said, "I'll tell you what, why don't you and I go into the pub and have a harp and maybe a Jameson and sit by the fireside and think about what you're doing." "Sure." So in they go, and they're in there for a while, getting warm. And he turns to the guy and he says, "By the way, how many have you caught today?" He said, "You're the 8th." We have world-class athletes here today, and that is, believe me, might be an understatement. And we start with one of the greatest, they call them two-sport athletes. Well, he probably could have played football and hockey had he chose or had his father let him do it. But Dick Groat embodies the whole spirit of a great athlete. He came out of Swissvale, Pennsylvania, was a darn good baseball player, and a fellow at Duke called John Michael Olson and said, "We're looking for a shortstop at Duke." He said, "I got one here." He plays at Swissvale, and he plays a little bit of basketball too. Little did Duke know what they were getting in the package that this guy provided. At Duke University, and believe me, in Pittsburgh and in Western Pennsylvania, a lot of people don't know he played basketball at a very high level. He played for the Fort Wayne Pistons. He was the number 3, the 3rd overall draft pick his senior year. But he played a little bit of Major League Baseball too. He played the bulk of his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates, accomplished the World Championship in 1960, was the MVP and the batting champion that year, and then a couple of years later was traded to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals played the Yankees again in 1964, and again he was a 7-game winner of a World Series. But that doesn't tell the Dick Groat story. Let's go back to Duke, where he led the nation in scoring and assists as a senior. Is my mic fading? Or did you turn me down, Moby? Please don't do that. My ego bruises easily. Led the nation in scoring and assists, never been done before or since. Made the College Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame in 2007. Probably should be in the Springfield Hall of Fame based on his college career. He played 26 games for the Pistons, and Mr. Rooney said, "Look, Dick, your legs will never take playing both shortstop and guard in the NBA." So reluctantly, he gave up his basketball career. Now, fast forward to probably 82. Pitt was a member of the Eastern 8. Dick and I were doing a Pitt at Rhode Island game on a Tuesday and a Pitt at UMass game on a Thursday, so we had Wednesday off. Dick said, "Let me call my old coach." I said, "Who's your old coach?" He says, "Red Auerbach." "Oh, maybe we go up and see the Celtics play on Wednesday. We're not doing anything." here I am in the locker room with Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Danny Ainge, Robert Parrish, you know, what a great, great team that was. And Dick was in Red's office with a visit, and he came out of the office, and he said, Coach, I'd like to introduce you to my partner, Bill Hillgrove. And I said, Coach, it's an honor to meet you. He said, you ever see him play? I said, yeah, I saw him play once. He played for the Fort Belvoir team when they played Duquesne in a charity basketball game at the field house. He said, you know how good he was? I said, he was pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. I'll tell you how good he was. If he stays with that big ball instead of that stupid little ball, he's at least as good as Cousy. And if you ever quote me publicly, I'll call you a blankety-blank liar. So I stand before you as a blankety-blank liar. It's my pleasure and privilege to be his partner for 38 years with Pitt basketball. No duo in college basketball has ever had that good a run. And to do it with a guy I grew up idolizing has been a blessing. I give you, it depends on the uniform, number 10 at Duke, number 5 at Fort Wayne, number 24 with the Pittsburgh Pirates, Mr. Dick Rupp.
What do you say after all those lies? One thing I have to say, I'm extremely happy to be here. For a number of years, Bill and I have come up here to help with charity events, and you people have always treated us so very, very well. I just can't thank you enough for the way I've always been treated in this area in every possible way. Bill's never set up for my I look forward to a trip so I could come up here with ice fish. We've talked about that so many times, especially as much as I hate the cold. But in all seriousness, it's very difficult for me to make very much of a speech this evening, because I have to be honest. My basketball team wasn't too sensational this year at the University of Pittsburgh.
No.
And that's saying just wasn't really great. And I'm a little bit apprehensive about my Pirates right now. They're having their share of problems, but they do have a very young pitching staff. So I'm going to tell you the greatest thing that's happened to me, believe it or not, in my anti-sporting event career, was when a guy by the name of Bill Hillgrove came to me after I was out of both basketball and baseball and gave me the opportunity to broadcast basketball with the University of Pittsburgh and to work with the best play-by-play announcer in all the sports for 34 years is really something special. And I've always been proud to say I've worked with Bill Hillgrove, and when you work with him, believe it or not, you're working with the best play-by-play announcer in all the sport. And I don't care who you're talking about, nationally or locally, he's in a world all his own. And I promise you that's a fact, because I've worked with him for many, many years. And again, I can't thank Bill Hillgrove enough for giving me the opportunity to work with him and for helping me for all these years. Let's hope, in all seriousness, that the Pitt basketball team can turn it around this year so Bill and I can have a little more fun than we had this past year. And again, I can't put the Pirates down because it's too early and it's a very young pitching staff. You have no idea how far they're going to go. I was tremendously disappointed when you lose one of your superstars for an idiotic thing like taking drugs, which is absolutely a dead-end street, and for a young man who just can't report right on his, whatever you have to report on coming into this country. So I'm afraid we're going to lose a youngster from Korea also. So I don't know how good the Pirates are going to be, but their young pitching staff has a chance to really be very good. There's some fine young arms, and let's hope it all works out. And once again, I'm extremely proud to be with you people here in Northern Pennsylvania. We have had great times in this area, and thank Bill Hillgrove for making this all happen.
Being with Dick on the road is a trip, especially if you're in a place like the Rainbow Room and it's a Woody Herman orchestra, and all of a sudden here comes Woody and the drummer marching toward our table because word got out that Dick Groat was in the house. And then we're at Feinstein's at the Regency to see Keely Smith, and unbeknownst to him, she gave him props. We got a great shortstop in the house, Dick Groat, which was, you know, it's just, it's a privilege, a pleasure, and if I write a book, he'll be in it a lot. Believe me. So somebody asked him, do you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? He said, no, that's for very, very special players. Then he'll pause and say, but I was at least as good as Louis Aparicio. Dick, thank you so much. And he's got the finest public golf course in the state of Pennsylvania, not because I said so. Jerry Dulac, the golf writer for the Post-Gazette, said so. Champion Lakes near Ligonier, Pennsylvania. Dick Groat. How many Columbus Blue Jacket fans do we have in the house? How many Washington Capitals fans do we have in the house? How many Ottawa Senators fans do we have in the house? How many Nashville Predators fans do we have in the house? How many Pittsburgh Penguins fans? Our next guest played hockey at Cleveland St. Edward High School, 3 seasons with the Erie Otters of the OHL. He met his wife, Christy, a native of Cambridge Springs, and they have 4 children. Played 14 seasons in the NHL as a center, including 2 with the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2009, actually almost 3, 2009, 10, and 11, is that right? All 2 anyhow. In his first stint with the New Jersey Devils, he became the only player in Stanley Cup history whose first playoff goal turned out to be the Cup winner. After retiring in 2014, he turned to broadcasting, serving as both a studio analyst for the NHL Network and as a Penn's postgame analyst for Root Sports. A resident of nearby Sagertown, Pennsylvania. Let's say hello to number 17, Mike Rupp.
Thank you, guys. First of all, thanks for having me here, being up here with this talent and legends, if you will. It's incredible, so I'm honored to be here. How about the Penguins, though? Like, let's be real. I mean, it hasn't happened since 1997, 98, I think. Detroit Red Wings back-to-back. That is incredible, especially with the salary cap era now. You're just not used to seeing that. I don't think they're stopping at 2, though, I'll be honest. I think they've got a great chance at 3, so. And those fans out there, they know that number 58, Chris Letang, wasn't on the ice. If they can win without Chris, what can it be like with Chris? So it'll be incredible next year. So, you know what, thanks for having me here and just kind of learn a little bit about this function and from last year to this year and hearing about the growth. It's incredible and you guys all make that happen. So thank you so much. Give yourself a round of applause for that. Thanks for all the work to go into it, and again, I'm honored to be here and be part of it. You know what, the other thing, I just met the great Bill Hillgrove a number of weeks ago, and I started thinking, man, if I keep showing up to things with him, maybe I could pick up his tone and his voice for what I'm doing. And if I could get his golden voice somehow, I mean, I've been told I'd sound like a Canadian from playing hockey, but I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I don't know how the heck I sound like a Canadian. So you hang around guys long enough, you pick some things up, so I might try to get that voice from him. But anyways, you know, it's awesome. I think in Western Pennsylvania, actually I don't think, I know, and this is coming from someone that's not supposed to like Pittsburgh people from Cleveland. I'm a Browns fan, I will say that. I'm a Cleveland sports fan, but I will say, thank you. We got a couple. Yes. Let me know where you guys are on Sunday so you can watch football together, because I got no one. My own family, my parent, or my wife and kids, they're Steeler fans too. So anyways, I do notice something very unique here in Western Pennsylvania. I noticed different in Pittsburgh. I don't think it's by any mistake that these sports teams in Pittsburgh all wear the same colors. I don't think there's any mistake that I'm working with NHL Network at the Stanley Cup Finals, and we have Cam Hayward come on set and pumping up and getting all fired up. He's in the crowd getting the fans fired up at PPG Paints Arena for the Penguins. You see Penguin players at Steeler games. You have Pirates players. I mean, it's awesome, and the hometown feel in this area in Western Pennsylvania is like no other. So I've got black and gold in my blood from playing with the Penguins. I love the organization, still have great friends on that team. But you can't help but have an appreciation for this area, and having everybody come out, it's awesome. So thanks so much.
We have an award to present, and it is the Athlete of the Year. And it's a tradition will continue, but to have this guy as the first winner is absolutely awesome. Meadville Area Senior High School. All-time leading rusher. District 10 all-time leading rusher. 722 yards rushing in a single game. Pennsylvania record, second nationally. 10 rushing touchdowns in a single game. Pennsylvania record. 68 points scored in a single game. Pennsylvania and national record. 2,791 yards rushing in a single season, school record. 103 rushing touchdowns in a career, school record. 45 rushing touchdowns in a season, school record. 113 career touchdowns, school record. Okay, he's been a parade All-American, honorable mention. He's been first team All-State in 2 sports multiple times. But listen to some of this. It gets more interesting. 2016 indoor state champion in the 60-meter dash. 2016 outdoor state champion in the 100-meter dash. 2015 outdoor state champion in the 100 meters. The 2016 outdoor state championship 100-meter dash, his time was 10.43. That is breaking a state record that was held since 1985 by Leroy Burrell, who was an Olympian. We are very, very honored to present to you our Athlete of the Year. He was also a member of the Meadville Bulldogs varsity basketball team that finished as the state runner-up in the PIAA 5A section. Here's the one, the only, and Penn State bound, Journey Brown, our Athlete of the Year.
Thank you very much. You know, these records and stuff mean a lot to me. It's even better when you have a great city like Meadville pushing behind you the whole time and all that good stuff. So I mean, Coach Collins, you know, he gave me the most carries. So I mean, it's kind of easy when you get a lot of carries, and you got people blocking for you the whole time. And just running track, you know, you got great coaches teaching you how to run and your technique and all that good stuff, getting out of the blocks. It's just real easy when you have people pushing you the whole way, and the support and from my family, my mom Buffy, my 2 sisters, Bailey and music, my grandma, and from teachers in my school like Mr. O'Shea tell me a lot with the school, and I'm not the best academic kid, I'm not the smartest either, but it's just easy when you have people behind you pushing for you, helping you and all that good stuff. So just to get this award really means a lot, and to be the first one to do it is a big honor for me. So I really appreciate whoever nominated me for having me here, and I appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Journey.
Journey we give to you Athlete of the Year, June 17th, 2017. Fantastic Athlete of the Year. Fantastic.
Congratulations, Journey, and congratulations to Journey's family. I had to work on this introduction long and hard. I toiled in the midnight hours. And Mark Madden has referred to me as the midnight mayor of Conneaut Lake. So among those duties was working on this introduction. He's an award-winning writer in Pittsburgh for 35 years. Author of 2 plays, The Chief, the life of Steelers founder Art Rooney, and The Play with Rocky Blyer, another one-man show on the life of the Steelers great, who plays himself. Pulitzer Prize losing columnist. I always thought that he's the best, not only sports writer in Pittsburgh and in our annals of sports journalism, he's the best writer in Pittsburgh. Gene Collier.
Really honored to be with the people on this dais and being with you fine people. I've been in Meadville many times doing events like this, and everyone has always treated me so good. In fact, I was at the Academy Theater downtown on April 27th doing some comedy. We really packed it in. We must have 30 people there. You know, when I do these things, I always remember, you know, my parents used to go to banquets and they would come home and I would ask them. I asked my mother what went on. She said, yeah, it was all right. I said, well, what happened? She said, well, we ate. You know, people spoke. And I said, well, how was that? She said, that was all right. I said, what do they talk about? She said, I don't know. I said, well, did you like any of them? She said, well, there's one guy I liked. I said, really? Well, what did he say? He said, I'll be brief. That's what I just try to remember that when I do this. You know, we really are blessed, especially in Pittsburgh. Here we are with back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Stanley Cup champions in 3 of the last 8 years. 6 Super Bowl winners in Pittsburgh, and a baseball team that has won 3 or 4 times in a row sometimes. So it's good. You gotta go. And I've been blessed my whole career in Pittsburgh anyway, to have worked for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. They have treated me so well. The other day, for example, the Post-Gazette wrote me an expense check for $6.48. Wow. Because I know how to live on the road, okay? I know how to live. I go hard, I'll close your Applebee's. Okay? I was driving around yesterday with this check for $6.48 in my pocket. And I go by the bank and I think, should I go in there and cash a check for $6? That's pretty pathetic. Because you don't see, young people don't even go to the bank, do you anymore? You don't go to the bank, really. I mean, you do it on your phone. It's only for old people walking up and down between those ropes for like 30 minutes. And the other thing that makes me hesitate about it was, you know, people at my bank, maybe you have this going on too, people at my bank are way, way too interested in what I got going on. It's not right. You know, like I always get Megan, and Megan will say something to me like, Gene, do you have any big plans for the weekend? So none of your damn business, Megan. I'd like to get it started. So yesterday I thought, you know what? I don't have any money, and I want some Doritos, so I'm going in. And I get Megan, because I always get Megan. And Megan says to me, Gene, how is your day going? So you want to know, Megan? Here you go. This is how it's going. I just walked into a bank to cash a check for $6.48. That's how my day's going. And then Megan gets all official, you know? Like, she looks at it, you know, like it says $648,000. She lost 2 forms of ID, even though she's copied it every 2 weeks for the last 30 years. Now she's looking at me, looking at the check, looking at me, and she's typing. She's looking at me, now she's calculating, looking at me, Finally she turns to me, she says, "Now, Mr. Collier, would you like this any special way?" And I should have just said, "No, 20s will be fine." But I didn't want to let it go, because I'm so tired of our relationship, Megan and I. So I kind of went off on her. It wasn't too bad. I just said, yes, I would. Yes, I would. $6.48. 2 1s, 2 2s, a quarter, a dime, 2 buffalo head nickels, and 3 pennies. And Megan, when you slide those coins toward me, I want them all tails up. That's my special way. That's my special way. So, I just want to tell you this real quick. And I want to mention this because it's important to me. It's kind of serious. We lost a great sports writer just a couple weeks ago. And his name was Frank DeFord. He wrote for Sports Illustrated for a long time. And we're going to miss him very much. He wrote some of the greatest stories in the history of Sports Illustrated. That was his main gig. And he had many wise things that he wrote and also that he said. And the best thing that he ever said, in my view, was this. He said, "Remember, choose your friends in the inverse order that they care about the NFL draft." And that is really what because there's something about the NFL draft. I think it's the smugness of the teams who go up there and justify their pick by saying the same magic words over and over. They always say it, and they always put it just like this. "We can't believe he was still available." Whoever it is, doesn't matter. That's code for everybody else is an idiot. We know what we're doing, okay? And I've come to this realization. I first came to it a very long time ago, a long time ago in a galaxy far away. Philadelphia, right? I'm working in Philadelphia. I'm covering the Eagles draft. Now, there's a trick to covering the Eagles draft because the Eagles in this era don't have any draft picks. They've traded them all away. You know, they might have a 2nd rounder laying around and maybe a 7th rounder, but there's a lot of time to kill at Eagles hindquarters there. So I'm there one day. You know, there's so much downtime. We're bored to tears, the sports writers. We've eaten everything we could get our hands on. There's nothing to do. Finally, somebody says, "You know what? You know what we're going to do? We're going to have our own draft here. It's a mock draft. It's just the people in this room. And here's the twist to it. You're drafting for a football team, but you can draft anyone who ever lived. Anyone in history. So think of everyone who ever lived. All the great men, all the terrible men. Who would you draft for your football team?" So that's what we were doing. And then we set up a couple little rules. Here's the draft order. Your first, your second, your third, your fourth. And when it was your turn, you had to go to a podium and announce your pick. And more importantly, justify your pick. So the first pick belonged to a writer named Ray Didinger. Ray Didinger then worked for the Philadelphia Bulletin. And we all admired Ray Didinger. He was a great writer. And more importantly, he was a great football writer. And he's since gone on to a long career with NFL Films, and he's still commenting on Eagles football today. We all admired him, so we were very anxious to see who Ray Didinger would take as the first pick among everybody who ever lived. So Ray went to the podium, and he said, very formally, I might add, he said, "The Philadelphia Eagles select with the first pick of the NFL draft, Ben Frank. And we just kind of stared at him until finally somebody said, Ray, you understand the format here, right? It's anybody who ever lived. He picked Ben Frank and he said, hey, he's a big guy, smart, he's an offensive tackle out of the University of Pennsylvania. You can build around him. They built a nation around the guy. Right? So the second pick was Genghis Khan. He was a linebacker out of Mongolia State. He was a big, mean guy who goes sideline to sideline, something like that. I happened to have the third pick. I took Attila the Hun. I said he was a defensive end, gets excellent penetration, comes hard off the edge. You know? So I cannot remember the fourth and fifth pick, but I cannot forget the sixth pick. The sixth pick belonged to Ray Kelly of the Camden paper, and Ray Kelly went to the podium and said, again, very formally, the Philadelphia Eagles select with the sixth pick of the NFL draft, Jesus of Nazareth. He's a quarterback out of Galilee Tech. The kid works miracles. He sees the whole field. And smart. You should see the Wonderlic scores on this kid. Now we've heard, there's rumor out there that Jesus Christ cannot throw the deep ball. But I am here to tell you, not only can he throw it, he'll go and catch it. And that was pretty much the end of the draft. Because once someone had Jesus, Jesus doesn't have to wait around you to learn the system. Jesus Christ knows the system. And that's when Ray Kelly said, we can't believe he was still available. So please, remember that the next time the draft comes up. Because Jesus Christ lasted till the sixth pick. And Tom Brady lasted till the sixth round. Thank you very much.
Gene Collier.
That's unbelievable.
You said we had world-class athletes up here, and we're not kidding. This gentleman is a native of Haledon, New Jersey, the NCAA heavyweight champion in 1982, his senior year at Indiana State at Terre Haute, famous for two great alums, Todd Jochen and Larry Bird. Not necessarily in that order. He was the 1984 Olympic gold medalist, 1986 world champion, 1988 Olympic silver medalist, 1992 Olympic gold medalist, 1993 world champion, 1995 not only world champion, but the winner of the Sullivan Award as the nation's top amateur athlete, and he was a 5-time finalist for that one. 1996 Olympic bronze medalist. He coached wrestling at Edinburgh University for 13 years, 7 as head coach, becoming director of athletics in 1997, a post he holds to this day. He was president of USA Wrestling, 1998 to 2002. As captain of the U.S. team, he carried the Stars and Stripes into Atlanta's Olympic Stadium, leading some 600 U.S. parading athletes in front of a worldwide TV audience of more than 3.5 billion people. He and his wife Linda have 3 children. He's the only freestyle wrestler in history to amass 13 world and Olympic medals. The one, the only, Bruce Baumgartner. Yeah.
Thank you, Bill. It is a pleasure to be here in Conneaut Lake, Meadville area. I've been to many banquets. It just shows how old we're getting. Usually we stand up at a podium. I think we're all at the age now where we're just sitting down and happy to be here.
Next year we're down there.
Yeah, next year they're gonna do away with those couple of stairs right there, so we'll be right there. Yeah, I walk in, I meet Robin and Mike, and I know those guys, and we're talking, the first thing we start talking about why we're limping. One guy's 2 inches shorter than they were because all their bones are and cartilage is compressed, and another one's that the knee is all bad, my knee and hip's bad, and we all said we wouldn't change a thing. We loved what we did. We did all mention that, you know, the salaries that the young men and young women are making today are a lot more than 20 or 30, did probably 40 or 50 years ago. Still not sure why we're sitting. Is it Bill's knees, my hip, Dick? I don't know. We're here. It is a pleasure to be here. You know, I am the athletic director at Edinburgh University. I'm very proud of our student athletes. We have had many District 10 athletes from the Meadville, Conneaut Lake, Lakeview High School area. I mean, just down in this region, some awesome athletes. Very proud of our student athletes and coaches at Edinburgh. You know, little things that we don't know, over half of our athletes, right around half of a 3.0 grade point average. Our teams, combined grade points, 3.0. We really stress the academics. We graduated with a great grade, higher than the average. We, as an athletic department, did almost 2,000 hours of community service. In the last 3 years, we've been a top 3 in collections for Make-A-Wish at the NCAA level, honoring wishes to 4 individuals now. And then, you know, just the performances our teams have given the region over the years is just awesome. Very proud of our coaches and student athletes, and extremely proud to be the athletic director there with the quality of individuals and people in Edinburgh. You know, a lot of people ask me what my absolute biggest honor in athletics was. And, you know, Bill touched on it, being the captain of the Olympic team in 1996. It was a struggle year for me. I was pretty old. I was 35 years old at the time, and for a wrestler that's ancient, most of the people before myself, or maybe one or 2 guys, you know, contemporaries, they all quit at about 26 years old. I was coming off of World Championships in 1995, was seeded #1, in how the captain is elected. All the teams, the different, the basketball, women's basketball, men's basketball, volleyball, beach volleyball, you know, freestyle wrestling, Greco-Roman wrestling, all the different disciplines, swimming, diving, all have a vote. And it was just a supreme honor to have the Olympic team, each sport, honor me by electing me captain and carrying the flag. Thank you. That was just an unbelievable day for me. I mean, I woke up in the morning, just did some interviews and so forth, and then we had a presentation where Bill Clinton, Chelsea, and Hillary, obviously the president at the time, toured the Olympic Village, and myself and Teresa Edwards got to sit and talk and go around the different area of the Olympic Village and sit down and have dinner. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, but to sit and meet a president is just an awesome thing. I'm so proud of the United States of America, and it was just an awesome feeling. You know, a little side story, I can tell you for sure that I had to go to the bathroom, and I was walking into the restroom right before the ceremony we'll talk about here in a second. And all of a sudden, this guy grabs the back of my neck and starts pulling me back. And the door opens, and there Bill Clinton was in the restroom, and I didn't know that I think I was going to get shot going in the bathroom of the president. And you know, President Clinton was a nice guy. He says, "Oh, let him in." So I went in, and I can honestly tell you he did wash his hands. If I was going in, he was finishing up. The guy washed his hand, had a little more respect for him. After we got done with our little business in the bathroom and talking, you know, and we left, I was able to present Bill Clinton at a big ceremony with the Olympic warm-up suit, and he gave the flag to me to present or to carry that night in opening ceremonies. And that day, I can remember sitting back, and I'm a Yankees fan, and George Steinbrenner at the time, I know a Yankees fan with the Pittsburgh people, I'm going to get booed right out of here, but oh well. We were getting ready to walk out, and George Steinbrenner was there, and I got an opportunity to talk to him. He was on the Olympic Committee at the time. I was really getting nervous. The home country in the Olympics was in Atlanta that I carried the flag. The home country comes in last, and I'm walking down in a car, and we get in there, and palms are sweating, and before we actually walk, they give you all these instructions. The United States flag doesn't dip for anybody, carry it proudly, don't make it was like really nerve-wracking. I went over up the stairs, and we went down this big ramp, and for whatever reason, everybody asked me, why did you carry it with one hand? And I said, I really didn't know. I mean, I just decided to carry the flag with one hand. I was so proud to do it, so proud of our country. And, if you look, I actually switched hands along the way because it was too heavy just for one hand. And people go, well, what were you thinking about? And honest to goodness, I had 2 children at the time. All I could think about was not slipping or falling. Because you know how your kids run across the living room and they slip and they go, I meant to do that? If I would have tripped, there was no I meant to do that with 3 billion people. I was scared to death. I don't remember anything but saying, I can't fall, I can't trip, I can't trip. Walk around, sit up there. But that was one of the proudest moments and honors of my life, representing you, the United States of America, our great country, carrying our flag.
Bruce Baumgartner. This time last year, we wanted to give James Conner the Courage Award, and the NCAA and the University of Pittsburgh looked at it and said because we weren't raising funds for education or for cancer research, that they wouldn't okay it. So we said, well, we'll get James to do it this year when he's out of the clutches of the NCAA, but he fell into the clutches of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and unfortunately for us, we got trumped, and he was sent out to help honor Joey Porter out in Bakersfield, California. But be that as it may, we have the Merle Hodge Courage Award. Merle Hodge came up last year to accept it. We said we will name the trophy in perpetuity in your honor, and it is the Merle Hodge Courage Award. And if you know Merle's story, he didn't climb one mountain, which was cancer. He didn't climb 2 mountains, that was heart valve. He didn't climb 3 mountains, that was the concussion syndrome. The guy really embodies courage, and I think James is a very worthy winner of this year's Merle Hodge Courage Award. And we hope to get James here live next year. Now, too bad. We have the James Conner shirt, and it was up for silent auction. And we have a bid that probably won't be topped. And we congratulate the winner at $500, and that is Mike Ermey of Sharon, Pennsylvania. Mike, thank you. We visited with James and his head coach on Thursday, and this is how it came down. Is there a James Conner that the public hasn't seen?
I really don't think so. I think, what you see is what you get with James Conner. He's a, very compassionate kid. He cares about everybody, his teachers, his professors, his players out on the field there. I mean, the Steelers will love him because he'll be a team player. He's a great locker room guy.
His compassion predated his ordeal.
It really did. It really did. It didn't start when he got cancer and then he started to feel for it. A story that really maybe nobody's heard was, Professor Leanne Sukas had him for class one year, I guess a year prior to him, getting Hodgkin's. And he kind of noticed she wasn't the same that day. And he went up and asked her, hey, is everything okay? And she said, actually, no. My daughter got diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease. And he said, gosh, is there anything I can do? And he talked to her and really kind of helped, Leanne through the whole thing and her daughter. And it kind of started there. And you think about why things happen and why James was brought on this earth, not only to play football, to affect other people's lives.
He's a fighter on and off the field.
He sure is. When you talk about courageous, I think James plays his best games in big games, and that's the war. I mean, you can play great against a Youngstown State, but, if I had to pick 2 games that he played his best, it was, the courage and the leadership he took into that Penn State game and that Clemson game.
That's all I need. Thank you.
That's all you need?
Thank you. That's all I need. James, what does it mean to you to receive the Merle Hodge Courage Award?
It's an honor and a blessing. I remember Merle reached out to me through my tough time and told me anything I needed and I could give him a call. I kind of formed a little relationship with him, seen at a couple other events. And so he's a great guy, and it's just an honor and blessing for me to receive his award.
What inspired you through your ordeal?
Man, just knowing where I've been and knowing where I want to get to. Obviously I want to fulfill my lifelong dream of playing in the NFL, and so I just looked at it as a little bump in the road, and got over it, and here we are.
Obviously, this is a big time for your family.
Yes, it is. And what better team to be playing for than the Steelers? So things been going great, and we trying to get a world championship, and my family and everything will be there to experience it all. With not being far away, so it's just great times right now.
You use the term reaching out. Mm-hmm. Is that what cancer survivors do?
Yeah, they should. That's what I believe. Other people are struggling and stuff, so if you have a platform to be able to reach a big audience, then you should definitely take advantage of it.
Congratulations, well deserved.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. James Conner, number 30. Here to accept the Merle Hodge Courage Award for James Conner is a member of our committee, our banquet committee this year, Jim Durantz. Jim.
I feel like a Heisman Trophy.
Give me that pose.
It gives me a great deal of pleasure to accept this for Jim Conner. And I wish him all the good health and everything, because I think he's going to make it.
Amen, brother. This banquet would not be possible without the arduous efforts of the committee. And we just heard from a committee member, Jim Durantz, another hand. I want the other committee members to stand as I call their names. Dick Williams, Jim Miller, Rich Cordo, Scott Lobbins, better known as Lobie, and his mobile music, Steve Teitlinger, Todd Miles, Frank Coppola, and last but certainly not least, because she was the prime mover of this whole effort, a great hand for Renee Lee. Our next speaker is a native of Compton, California. Became an All-American linebacker at the University of New Mexico. First ever #1 draft pick out of that program by the Steelers in 1977. He wore the black and gold uniform for 11 seasons, during which he earned 2 Super Bowl rings. Replaced Andy Russell in the Steel Curtain at right outside linebacker, named All-Pro in 1984, compiled 19.5 sacks and 5 interceptions in his NFL career. But this man is more than just a world-class athlete. Among his charitable involvements is the Obadiah Cole Foundation, of which he is founder and president. Its mission is to educate people about prostate cancer, of which he is a survivor. Ladies and gentlemen, Station 3 is proud to present number 56, Robin Cole.
Thank you, Bill. I'm just flabbergasted to really be up here with the likes of this table here. Attorney Brown, all the way down, Collier, gold medalist, golly, Mike here, sitting next to Dick, and our number one in radio, television, and really, golly, Bill Hillgrove is the best. I mean, we're just talking about not only that, he's a great man, and he's involved in causes himself, and call on him to help you out. But more important than that, than us up here, is you, because you guys are the people that make it happen. You're the ones that come to these events, that get behind causes. It always takes some form of resource to make anything happen and to make a difference. And you guys are right now making a difference. Little do you know, sometimes when you come to a function like this, you're giving up your resources, let it be your monies, let it be what you know, let it be the people that you've been involved with. And that's kind of the way the whole thing works for us with prostate cancer. And I'll just get this out front. As a prostate cancer survivor, I know that prostate cancer is something that you don't have to receive any early signs for prostate cancer. Don't wait for symptoms. If you have family history, make sure you get checked. Get checked early and get checked often. I lost a second brother 2 years ago, so I have two brothers that have passed away. My father passed away at the age of 49. And so it's a disease that you don't want to play with. And even if you don't have family history, if you say, well, I believe in the Big Bang Theory, then you all came from the same places, so we're related some kind of way. But if you say, well, not that, and I believe in Adam and Eve, then golly, we're related again. So it doesn't make any difference what side you're on, you gotta relate, you're related. Okay? So get checked. That's what we have to do. We have to get checked. I can remember back in 1977, my rookie year. Oh, rookie. Very nervous in playing preseason games. But we went all the way through the preseason, finally made it to the season. I break my arm the very first game. We're playing Monday Night Football, San Francisco. I forget the quarterback's name. He was a no-name quarterback at the time. We play in San Francisco. In the fourth quarter, I break my arm. Bam, on his knee. Broke it in half. Some people on the sideline say they heard something, and they could have heard anything, because when I'm in plays, you hear a lot of things snapping anyway. So that was supposed to be funny. Next break, and sometimes you're on. Break my arm, miss the next 8 games, and come back and finish the season. We finish the season, we get to the playoffs. We're playing Denver Broncos, in which Tom Jackson became a Hall of Famer at that game. Okay, if you look back, if some of you remember, may not remember back, but Terry Bradshaw threw 3 interceptions, and he threw them all to Tom Jackson. And after the second one, I said to the guy, I said to one of the colleagues, my teammates, I said, is he throwing the ball to Tom Jackson? I mean, they played the Pro Bowl last year together. We thought he was throwing the ball to Tom Jackson. Now, in that game, if you can recall the game a little bit, there was a challenge that went on the football field. That was the game that it was Joe Green ended up hitting the offensive guard. His name was Ron Howard. Ended up hitting Ron in the stomach and knocked him out. And it was time out for 10 minutes. Ron laid on the field for 10 minutes. Knocked the wind out of him. Joe hit him pretty good. Now, as what are these chairs moving? All these chairs moving. Huh? Upstairs. Oh, they're upstairs? Oh, okay. Wow, all of a sudden I was here on these chairs moving. Last time it happened to me, people were falling asleep. I mean, really falling asleep. Get back to Joe Green, okay? Joe hit him in the stomach, and Joe was really upset after the game, so we get on the bus. Phil, were you on the plane? Did you go with us to that game in '77? Did you go with us?
No.
Okay.
I was covering for television. I
okay, the game ends. We got on the plane, and normally we have some drinks, some beer or something if you wanted to get your fluids back and you get it on the plane. And so we're getting on the plane, and Joe Green was one of the last guys on the plane. And normally the coaches are up front, and the coaches sit up front in the first class, and then started coming to the back. So Joe Green was one of the last guys to get on the plane, and by that time, after the game, we were all getting ready for the trip home. So we could get to relax and talk a little bit about the game. We played a little backgammon. That was the game of the table game of the times. Play some cards. The guys would get ready for poker. So everybody would get their tables together and get ready to play the game. So we were kind of set up before Joe gets on the plane. So Joe gets on the plane and he passes the coaches and he looks back at the rest of the players. And to his right, there was a couple of guys. One guy's name was Jim Smith, and he was sitting next to his roommate. And Joe Green reaches over there, and I saw his backgammon board go to the top of the plane, the ceiling of the plane. And then all of a sudden, everybody got quiet. And Dirk Winston looked at me and says, "Man, what's wrong with Joe?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Well, he's your roommate. Did he say anything?" I said, "No, he didn't say anything to me. But I know one thing, he's putting backgammon boards up against the ceiling of the plane, and my backgammon board is set up right now. I'll put mine away because I don't want to get mine broken." Joe was very upset that we lost that game. And in 1977, it set the stage for 1978. That game. Because Joe began to speak after that. And he told us to put all that crap away, which he used to indulge in it too. But not this, after this game. He said, "Put all that crap away." And he said a couple other words that I kind of won't share with you. And then he says, "Next year we're coming back." And he said, "If any of you don't plan to come back ready to play next year, get off the plane." It was funny, nobody got off the plane. You know, we all stayed on the plane, so we figured, we figured that we were going to come back and shake. He said, "Come back in shape next year." We came back in 1978, everybody came back in shape, okay, came back ready, and that was our third Super Bowl that we won, okay? That was the third Super Bowl. And what I'm saying in that is that nobody or no team accidentally wins the Super Bowl. It wasn't no accident. It was a plan. It was a plan. We had a plan going on the year prior for the next season to get ready to come back and win. In '79, it was similar to that, but it was a plan. We had a plan. Every single one of us went back and began to think about our football game and began to think about the football team and what we could be a part of to win, to bring back another winner in Pittsburgh. And we were able to do that not only because of ourselves, because there were a lot of fans that had the same plan for us as a team in the roomies. And because of the plan that you had in your hearts and the dream that you had in your hearts, we were able to come back and bring back another winner to the city of Pittsburgh. Was not only the city of Pittsburgh, the people in Ireland, like Bill was sharing a little bit about Ireland, the people in Ireland enjoyed it just as well as the people in Pittsburgh. And even some people in Cleveland enjoyed us winning that Super Bowl. Yeah, they did. Well, I do. I mean, I used to cheer for, if the team that we played, if we lost the championship, we'd always cheer for one of the teams that was in the division. That's the kind of way we did it, okay? And that's the way they did it. And so they cheered for us, and they didn't want us to win them all, especially Houston. They wanted us to win them all. But we happened to, and it was good stuff. And that's one of the reasons I'm here. You know, when I look back at my first time I played tackle football in the 10th grade, and I hurt myself and I thought about quitting, I'm glad I didn't quit. Okay? And from that point on, it was through college and then getting married and then beginning to have children. And I am not still married to the same wife. Golly, wow, I've been married. This is my third. And this is not testimony time. But it was my third, and I'm trying to remember why. I always forget, but I'll never forget. The first one, she was just mean. And wait, until Joe Green, I hadn't met anybody. I thought Joe was the meanest I met. And I said, "No, Joe, I have an ex-wife there who was mean and mean." Well, I had a bulldog that was pretty mean, but she topped it. Yeah. No, sure. Truthfully, she was so mean when we made love, she closed her eyes. And she said she hated to see me have a good time. That's me. That's me. 1982, we're going to the strike, and I get out of here. I won't keep you guys long. I'm going to get out of here in a second. Tell you like King Henry, he told all his wives. I won't keep you long. Hey, 1982, did I tell this last year? Did I tell you guys about
Most of these people weren't here last
you
year.
know, got a new crowd. Oh, I got some new stuff there. 1982, we're going through a strike. Some of you guys were around. We're going through the strike. You know the movie that came on. It's the replacement. We call them the Pretenders. Back in the day, we had we shut it down for a little while. We thought that the owners would probably, after 3 games, they would probably come running back to us and say, "Come on, guys, come on back. We're going to finish playing football." But they could have lasted longer than we could. In fact, they could have lasted 10 years. They had their money. But there we were on strike. Okay, and it was tight because back then we weren't getting. There was a couple of guys getting paid well. I thought everybody was getting paid well in the National Football League when I came in the league back in 1977. I said, "God, I'm gonna sign for a $250,000 contract," and I kept thinking that way until I was retired. It just didn't happen. Okay, things changed after we had free agency. But in '82, we went on strike, and after 4 games, we had guys calling me because I was the player representative at the time. They were calling and saying that they were hurting for money, and I said, "Wow, what do you do?" And I thought about it for a little while. I said, "You know what? Just go get a part-time job anywhere, do anything just for a little while. It'll make you feel good that you're going out of the house." And I remember one of the linebackers called me up and said, "Robin, I'm hurting. I'm really hurting. My wife's complaining. Think that we should go back and play." I said, "No, we have to hold out now. We've been out 5 games. We have to hold out. We have to wait and see what happens here. It's going to be okay. We're going to eventually play some football." Well, I can remember him telling the story. He said, "Man, I was going through the newspaper that Sunday, and he said, I saw the wanted ad, and he said, I was looking at it, and it said, big bold letters, it just jumped out at me. It said, City Zoo, $1,000. He said, "Man, I called that manager down there, and the job was still available." And I said, "Well, what happened?" He said, "Well, I went down and I talked to the manager. The manager said the job was still available." And I said, "I will take the job. I don't care what it is." He said, "Well, wait a minute. Let me explain to you about this job." He said, "Our gorilla died." He said, "And the zoo was not a zoo without a gorilla." And he stood up and walked over to the cabinet there. And he opened the cabinet up and he had a big gorilla suit hanging there. He said, "Now, if you can fit this suit and act like a gorilla for a couple of weeks until a gorilla comes from overseas, you can have this job." He said, "For $1,000 a week, I'll take this job." He said, "In fact, and when I was at Syracuse, I was on the acrobatic team." He said, "Watch this." He stepped back, flipped, and landed on his feet. He said, "Oh man, you're gonna be good at this." He said, "We're gonna get started." So we get started tomorrow. So he's there early, man. He's trying on these big old gorilla feet, big old gorilla hands. He put the suit on. He said, "Man, it's not hot in here." So you'll be okay. You get some air as you start moving around. He said, "Air will go through these holes here. You'll be all right." Next day he went to work, man. And he's acting like this gorilla. And he's getting the sound down, And he's really got it going on, right? And the people are throwing peanuts and bananas at him. He said, "Man, it's a pretty good job. I may keep this and do this in the off season." The next day, he's doing the same thing. By the 3rd day, everybody at the zoo is talking about this gorilla. "Hey, man, you see the gorilla? The gorilla's fantastic. The gorilla can do all these things." And he's running around the cage, had a rope that hung from the middle. He grabbed that rope and swing it across. This Saturday, people were about 24 deep. And he's on that rope and he's swinging back and forth, and the people begin to say higher. He said, "Oh, they want me to go higher." So he started to go higher. He's swinging higher. And the people begin to say higher. "Let me go higher." So he's swinging higher. He swung so high the rope snapped. He fell into the lion's den. Now, the lion's been watching him all week. You guys have seen National Geographic. You know the lion was jumping and down. Boy, that lion started approaching me. He started running. Now the people are saying, "Hey, help the gorilla, lion, help the gorilla." And he's running around, and the lion's getting closer. And he's running around, the lion getting closer. He hasn't said anything yet. He said, "One more time around, man, I'm running out of gas. I'm going to run and see if I can jump to the top and kick myself over." Man, he ran full speed. He jumped to the top and started to kick his leg over, but the lion was on his rear. Right there, the lion clawed him with the left hand. Clawed him him in his rear, and he began to scream, "Help! Help! Somebody get me out of here! Help!" Right then, a lion rustled into the ground and said, "Shut up, you fool, before you go get us all on fire." That was good.
Robin Cole. It's all silent, right? Silent up. Oh, okay. Let's get your tickets ready, because we have some things to give away in the back. I'd like to thank not only the committee, which we've already done, but the corporate sponsors who stepped forward to make this a successful evening it has become, and also to the staff here at Station 3. They did a wonderful job this evening. We appreciate that. You know, my pal Myron Copeland, I miss him every day. I've had him up here at the lake a few times, and I remember one night, it's an August evening, and he's on the front of my boat, and there's a big August moon, and he's silhouetted against the August moon conducting the Count Basie Orchestra. And I didn't have a camera, and I regret that very, very dearly, because it was one of the great moments. But one of the greatest moments was after practice one day. We went into a bistro on Route 30 for a cup of coffee and a piece of pie. Well, it was a little more than that. And you know, people treated Myron very well. He was almost like a rock star. He'd walk into a place, a hush would fall, then the noise level would come back up. This particular day, a guy comes up unannounced, didn't say hello, and put his hand on Myron's little monk's crown, that bald spot on the back of his head, and rubbed it around, and said, "Just like my wife's behind." I looked at Cope, and I said to myself, "Cope, let me see you wriggle off this hook." Myron waited until the guy took his hand away, put his own hand up there, rubbed it around, looked at him, and said, "Come to think of it, pal, it does." It was brutal. The guy got a hangdog look and walked out onto Route 30. I think he got hit in traffic. Thanks very much to Gene Collier, Bruce Baumgartner, Mike Rupp, Dick Groat, Robin Cole. Congratulations to James Conner and to Journey Brown. See you next year. It'll be bigger and better. Good night, everybody.